Welcome to Our Golden Plates, a weekly show about bringing people together through the gospel of Jesus Christ to share testimonies, spiritual experiences, and overall to remind everyone that though we may not be together in person, we are together in purpose. A reminder that all comments made in the chat must adhere to the house rules. Any violation of the house rules will result in immediate removal from the group. Welcome to our show. Hey everybody, welcome to this week's episode of Our Golden Plates. I am Charlie Gomez alongside my brother Joey Gomez. We have a very, very special episode of Our Golden Plates for you guys. I'm going to switch tones a little bit because what we're going to be talking about is actually something rather serious and something that I think me and Joey both feel that really needs to be talked about. As you guys know, there's a lot of things going on right now within our society, just regarding the certain events that have occurred. And we just wanted to kind of take the opportunity to really just kind of speak from the heart, talk about these issues that are arising right now, especially, within the United States, and I'm certain probably throughout other parts of the world too, but really just wanted to take some time to actually really drive this home, and what we're going to be talking about today is pretty tough thing to talk about, but we wanted to really address some of the events that have happened, as well as things that we can do better as people in our community to help better and more positively impact those that surround us.
And I think that what we really want you to know is we had this idea we came up with, what we would discuss today, and seeing what's going on in today's society and how the people are reacting to the events that have occurred, we decided to just push that to the side and really give a key focus on how we felt about these kinds of situations. Now, I wanted to start off by saying that our channel and the whole reason that we've come together as a group and why we are working on this together is for the simple idea that even though we are not together in person, we are together in purpose. And what that means for us is the importance of working together to improve things like social disclusion and keeping people out of groups and putting down individuals that we care for, that we want to feel included. And so really our Golden Plates is a channel dedicated to really helping and making sure that you and I become we. And that whole idea of writing in our Golden Plates, your thoughts, your feelings, going to our YouTube channel and watching our content and learning so you can become more united and we can become more united. So really anything that we touch on in our channel has always been dedicated to that purpose. So even though these are probably going to be things that people disagree with or they do agree with, we know that we're taking it from the stance of social inclusion. And our whole entire purpose of coming together and even making this content was so that you and I could be one in purpose. So I wanted to kind of talk about that today, Charlie, to start off, and I wanted to kind of get the perspective of other people as well. Please make sure to comment down below. That way we can know.
We'd love to hear from you guys, and especially just maybe some of the things that you've experienced over the last week or so, some of the things that you have on your minds regarding stuff that's happening and occurring in the news, stuff that's occurring and maybe in your own personal life and in your local communities.
Thank you, Charlie. And so with that, one of the first things that I wanted to talk about after seeing everything transpire the way that it did, I'm just going to say it the way that that I understand it and the way that my perception is. So I look at the series of events of George Floyd, the murder, that's what I say, of this man, and the way that the police addressed that issue as something very negative, and it impacted the lives of millions. And the way it impacted those individuals' lives was on the personal, indirect level. And I feel that as someone who does not support any form of brutality and violence, that it was a clear and just terrible series of events that led to his death.
It was a tragedy.
It was just a tragedy, and watching that, the disgust inside my heart, and it does not keep with the values of what I believe in, and that is justice and upholding the law, and there are things I don't understand about all of it. I'm frank and honest. There are things I will never be able to know about everything that happened in that situation. Again, I feel like it was just wrong what happened to this man.
We can probably even step back and say that not just this event, but there have been similar events of similar nature that really are appalling, to be frank.
Right. And to me, in context of the situation, Charlie, I feel that there's a right way to address these problems. And when I think about what I can do as far as a supporter in stopping anything like this from happening, I think of things like advocating for the right, and not the left and right side. I mean, for the rights of us as individuals to be able to practice our beliefs and freedoms, and being a voice in the community, and helping people when they actually need help, and trying our best. Now, I'm not a perfect person, and I don't admit to be. And so clearly all the judgment that I'll get from just even putting this out there will just go unparalleled.
Well, we will. We'll get some backlash.
Yeah,
it's okay.
and we've accepted that because we know that there are people that are hurt in their hearts, just as we are hurt in our hearts. And as I've said. And so what I said and what Charlie said was that we were going to do this, and this, you may not even believe this, we're doing this unscripted. We literally decided today that we would go through with this because we knew they would come from our hearts. And we knew that you would be able to feel with us the importance of what we're talking about. So I feel that it was wrong. I feel that the riots and violence that are going on right now are just an addition to how wrong that was. I don't think that contributes to a measure of improvement. I don't think that the way that individuals have taken advantage of people of color, people not of color, and taken advantage of George Floyd's situation to try and allow and be permissive towards their violent actions is disgusting and wrong. And I'll stick to that because in my heart, I want to help. And that only contributes to disclusion. And that isn't what we believe in our golden plates. And that isn't what I believe in my core values in my life and the things that I stand for and the practices of my faith and my belief. And so I'm not in any way, shape, or form going to say that it's okay, because it's not. And we need to hear this, guys. We need to hear that people are doing things like peaceful protests, and that they're going and doing the right thing, which is not taking their anger out on individuals who have spent their livelihood in building businesses. And when I've read just the story of the black African-American man, firefighter, who spent his livelihood to make a sports grill bar, knowing that COVID-19 stopped him initially from being able to start the business, to being burned down.
Well, he was also he had been a retired firefighter.
Yeah.
He was a civil servant of our actual country. Like, he dedicated his life, put his life on the line for members of our community and their safety.
And for me, when I see that, that's the beauty of coming together as a community and supporting somebody who deserves and has worked so hard to try and build himself up, and to know that whatever group went and destroyed that livelihood sickens me. And it's terrible that we could say that was okay. And I would never agree with that ever, because I believe that man and any other individual who has worked so hard to try and bring themselves up, of any denomination, faith, race, that they shouldn't be taken advantage of at this time. And so, again, those are my feelings and how I feel. And I know Charlie has quite a bit to say.
Yes, I do. Guys, just in my own personal opinion, I was very, 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 very appalled and very, very hurt and very, very taken back by all of the events that happened. Not just, obviously, the whole situation with George Floyd, but just everything that's happened as a result of that. And, I think things have kind of escalated. I know I don't want it to make it sound like these recent events are somehow superior or more intense than other events that we've experienced, because there's been multiple events. I mean, we can go as far as back of what happened in Ferguson, Missouri, as things that happened in Baltimore, tons of and throughout history, you can go on and on and on. But just obviously, as of recently, the reaction to what has happened and just how, as an American society, we've responded to what has happened, and it's, to be frank, it's disgusting. It really is. And I'm ashamed. I really am to witness these types of groups and individuals that support those ideologies that would rather promote violence and inclusion in that way, instead of in a peaceful manner trying to include people of all groups, races, sexes, whatever, instead of trying to promote violence and crime and hate throughout our country at this time, and I don't think that words can fully express how I feel about the situation, because personally, to me, it's just disgusting. And it's sad to see, and I know, obviously we'll probably get some backlash for that. And you know what? To be frank, to each his own, and to each his own opinion. And we respect anyone, and their beliefs and their opinions. But I went through my Facebook feed and recently, and saw one of my friends who happens to be a police officer post about how down in Texas was called to help disperse riots that were happening in Texas, and how he posted about how it concerns him as a police officer to have himself and his wife worry about his safety just to be able to go and do his work. And that to me is just wrong, that someone who's trying to defend and protect our people, the people of our American society, like, that he has fears and anxieties about going into work and having to stay up all night. I mean, just, there's tons of I could go on, but and it's not just so much about, like, the cops in general, but local business owners. It's terrible. It's terrible to see that we are witnessing people's livelihoods being tarnished and destroyed in defense of a violent act that was committed, that has nothing to do with what happened. I mean, realistically, how does the events that are currently occurring go hand in hand with destroying property, with promoting violence? Like, I mean, I personally am obviously, appalled at what happened to George Floyd, but if he were here, I'm pretty sure he wouldn't agree with anyone trying to loot or cause violence or harm other people.
And we are not trying to speak for him or his family at all. Like, we're just trying to say that what's right? Ask yourself that. Think about it. Is it right that we do these things to people that have families and have their livelihood? Does it promote inclusion? Does it bring us to a place where we really feel like we're actually coming together in purpose?
Absolutely. And I posted this on Facebook, but Gandhi said it best, guys. Give me a sec. In a gentle way, you can shake the world. Doesn't take much more than that. And our purpose is not to come on here and have a rant about our personal stance on the entire matter, but we did feel it important that we share some of our thoughts that are going on, because this is an important matter and it does need to be addressed. And hopefully this encourages you guys to be more proactive as well in whatever that looks like, in your attempts to voice your opinion about things, voice your opinion on things that are right, that stand for the justice of the people. And we just encourage you to take advantage in whatever that looks like in positive ways. And so we actually just wanted to spend some time as well, just kind of going over maybe some ideas that you guys can do to help contribute and give back in a more positive light. And so, we would definitely first encourage that you look for opportunities in your local community. We've seen some really great demonstrations of people going to local businesses that have been damaged, that have been looted in, and they've done service for those companies. It can be something so simple, guys. Don't think that you have to reinvent the wheel here by doing these things. Calling a friend and just asking about how their day is going, can be something so simple, or just something as simple as a smile. Maybe just looking for other resources in your community, in your community outreach efforts, whatever that may be.
Look, guys, we are able to educate those people that are going through these hardships. We can give them the knowledge. We last week did our video on how individuals can find content to be able to improve their financial well-being with a financial planner. These are things you can share with these individuals that are going through economic hardship. You can support individuals by doing peaceful protests. You can go to them if you feel like you need to be a part of that community and support them. You can stop hateful discussions online and social media and posting things that disrupt relationship building, that devoid people from being included. These are all things that you can do. Promoting positivity, talking about ways that we can find solutions, working with your law officials, working with the police, working with your local governments. These are all people that will listen to you if you open your voice and speak your heart and mind to them, because that touches the heart. And that's where you're going to get the influence you want to be able to help the people you care about. Because in the end, our golden plates, even though we're not together, as in the same place, we can always be together in purpose. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.